climbing trees. I buttoned up my coat to keep me warm, for the days are on the mend and I'm on the road again, with me fiddle snuggled close beneath my arm. I've a fine felt hat and a strong pair of brogues, I've rosin in me pocket for me bow, and me fiddle strings are new, and I've learned a tune or two, so I'm well prepared to ramble and must go. I'm as happy as a king when I catch a breath of spring, and the grass is turning green as winter ends, and the geese are on the wing and the thrushes start to sing, and I've headed down the road to see my friends. I've a fine felt hat and a strong pair of brogues, I have rosin in my pocket for me bow, and my fiddle strings are new, and I've learned a tune or two, so I'm well prepared to ramble and must go. I have friends in every town as I ramble up and down, making music at the markets and the fairs, to the donkeys and the creels and the farmers making deals, and the yellow-headed tinkers selling wares. I've a fine felt hat and a strong pair of brogues, I have rosin in my pocket for me bow, and my fiddle strings are new, and I've learned a tune or two, so I'm well prepared to ramble and must go. Here's a health to one and all, to the big and to the small, to the rich and poor alike, and foe and friends. And when we return again, may our foes have turned to friends, and may peace and joy be with you until then. I've a fine felt hat and a strong pair of brogues, I have rosin in my pocket for me bow, and my fiddle strings are new, and I've learned a tune or two, so I'm well prepared to ramble and must go. I've a fine felt hat and a strong pair of brogues, I have rosin in my pocket for me bow, and my fiddle strings are new, and I've learned a tune or two, so I'm well prepared to ramble and must go. So I'm well prepared to ramble and must go. Hi folks, I think we're online, Kathleen and me.
We're on 9.
Thanks folks, another week gone, and this week, as I promised, I'm paying tribute to the Clancy Brothers and Tommy Macon. I'll be talking a little about them, I won't talk too much, but a big inspiration for many folkies in Ireland from the 60s on, including even people like Christy Moore, Johnny McAvoy, the Dubliners even, and the Wolf Tones, and they were the first really to give the folk music kind of American treatment with banjos and guitars and fantastic singers in unison. Very, very heartening to do, as a matter of fact. And some people thought that they were singing straight and that they didn't have that much talent, but let me tell you, it's easier to sing in harmony and get it together than several voices in unison. I can tell you that for sure. You can be slightly out in the harmony and you probably won't be noticed, but when they sing together, they were fantastic singers for sure. Brought us loads of songs, and they got a lot of their songs, of course, from older people, including people like Sarah Macon and the Clancy's mom and dad and stuff like that. But anyway, so I'll be talking a bit about them as I go along. The first song I dedicate to Angela Russell over there in UK. Big fan of folk music, Irish folk music, and a good friend of myself and Kathleen, and a regular visitor to Kinmare with her brother Tony, Lord rest him. Anyway, next song was a song called Come By The Hills, one of my favourite songs from Scotland. And the cares of tomorrow must wait till this day is done. Nice sentiments. Come by the hills to the land where fancy is free, and stand where the leaves meet the sky and the rocks meet the sea, where the river runs clear and the bracken is gold and the sun, and the cares of tomorrow must wait till this day is done. Come by the hills to the lands where life is a song, where birds fill the air with their joys and they'll not be so long, where the rivers run clear and the bracken is gold in the sun, and the cares of tomorrow must wait till this day is done. And come by the hills to the lands where legends remain, where glories of old fill the heart and may yet come again, where the past has been lost and the future is still to be won, and the cares of tomorrow must wait till this day is done. The cares of tomorrow must wait till this day is done. Great song for sure. Tommy Makem was where I first heard singing that, and my good friend Bobby Clancy later in the day. And one of my favourite songs, I know a lot of people's favourite songs as well, and that goes out to Barry Andrews in Bantry. And this is coming up to the 3rd anniversary of his wife's passing, Helen. They both were great friends of ours and stayed here many times. So our thoughts are with you, Barry, and Michelle, and all the family. Here's one called A Place in the Choir, written by Bill Staines, and sent this one out to Jimmy Jones. So get your singing hats on, folks, and dance around the kitchen if you feel like it. All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher. Some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got. All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing higher. Some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. Oh, listen to the bassist, the one on the bottom where the bullfrog works. Hippopotamus roams and roams with a big tutu, and the old cow just goes moo. The dogs and cats take out the middle where the honeybee hums and the cricket fiddles, the donkey brays and the pony days. The old grey badger sighs. Oh, all God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing higher, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they've got now. Oh, listen to the top with the little birds singing, and the melodies and the high notes ringing. The gunnel cries over everything. The blackbird disagrees, singing in the night time, singing in the day. The little duck quacks and he's on his way. The otter hasn't got much to say. The porcupine talks to himself. Oh, all God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing higher, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. It's a simple song, little song everywhere, by the ox and the fox and the grizzly bear, the dopey alligator and the hog above, the sly old weasel and the turtle dove. And all God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got. All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got. All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing higher, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. Sudden stop there. Good stuff. Thank you, folks. Hope you're singing along there. And I'll be doing songs from the repertoire of the Clancy Brothers and Tommy Makem, and of course the great duo, Makem and Clancy as well, and some from Tommy's and Liam's solo careers, at least, and Bobby's, of course. And next one, I heard Liam Clancy sing this song first, and it's one of my favourite versions of the song, the Roseville Fair. And this one is also written by the same guy that wrote the last one, Bill Staines. And send this one out to my daughter's boyfriend, Kevin, whose birthday is on Monday, I think Kathleen is it?
Yep.
That's a nice love song for them, and hopefully you see them tomorrow at some stage. Give us a call, and happy birthday, Kevin. Hope you have a good one on Monday. And just this evening here in Dripsey, County Cork, Ireland, the weather has gotten lovely and warm and bright out there, almost warm enough to do it outside. But myself and Kathleen had some dinner earlier out there, and all we could hear was cars speeding around the place and cows mooing, more than mooing. They sounded like they were moaning. But so this is a little easier to get to keep the spill out of the songs. Then, having said that, all the last creatures got a place in the choir. Anyway, this one's called the Roseville Fair, a beautiful love song, and I hope you like it. The night was clear, stars were shining, the moon came out so quiet in the sky. People gathered round and the band was tuning. I can hear them now, playing Coming to Ride. You were dressed in blue, you looked so lovely, prettiest flower for a small town girl. You took my hand, we stepped to the music with a single smile. You became my world. We danced all night to the fiddle and the banjo. The drifting tunes seemed to fill the air. So long ago, I can still remember when we fell in love at the Roseville Fair. We courted well, we courted dearly. We rocked for hours in the front porch chair. And a year went by from the time that I met you, and I made you mine at the Roseville Fair. All together, we danced all night to the fiddle and the banjo. The drifting tunes seemed to fill the air. So long ago, I can still remember when we fell in love at the Roseville Fair. So here's a song for all of the lovers. Here's a tune that they can share. Made it dance all night to the fiddle and banjo, the way we did at the Roseville Fair. And we danced all night to the fiddle and banjo. The drifting tunes seem to fill the air. So long ago, I can still remember when we fell in love at the Roseville Fair. When we fell in love folks, and possibly I'm going out live on Foley's Kelleher tonight.
You were, yeah.
I am. Good stuff.
Elizabeth Armstrong is.
Hi, Liz.
The tight, yeah.
You got in on the act, Liz. I hope you're having a good time in Kelleher. It seems like a good time to be there. And my son Ricky and my daughter Lorna are trying to keep the hospitality running single-handedly. The town of Kelleher. So hopefully everyone is enjoying themselves in as best they can and as safe as they can. Hello to everyone in Foley's, and especially the Foley family, of course. Pat, Marion, Peg, and Body. I know they'll be in there working away, and all the family and extended family, and anyone who knows us there.
There's a James McDonough, I think he's from Boston, wants to know the poster. Tommy Makem, where was the concert on?
Okay, that one is Tommy Makem. The concert is in St. John's Theatre, Listowel, County Kerry. Still going strong, a beautiful theatre in Listowel, County Kerry. And I actually got it. I attended a different concert, but I got the poster from Tommy, who was being accompanied by his great son Rory Makem. We send out our wishes to all the Makems in America, and Jerry Noose, Katie, all those places. So that was a 2004, October 2004, St. John's Theatre in Listowel, County Kerry. And Barnyards Of Delgathy, especially for John O'Connell. He requested this one. As you saw in my post before this evening's airing, I've something like 51 or 2 Clancy Brothers and Tommy Makem songs I can think of off by heart. Didn't realise I had that many, and it just goes to show the influence, I suppose, speaks for itself. As I went down to Tara Market for to feed, I fell in with the wealthy farm and the barnyards of Delgathy. Then to Laddie, to Laddie, then to Laddie, to Laddie, then to Lauren, the barnyards of Delgathy. Well, he promised me the finest horse that ever I set my eyes upon. When I got to the barnyards, there was nothing there but skin and bone. Then to Laddie, to Laddie, then to Laddie, to Renee, then to Lauren, the barnyards of Delgathy. As I go down to church on Sunday, Manny's the bonny lass I see, sitting by her father's pride and drinking more the beers at me. When to Laddie, to Laddie, then to Laddie, to Renee, then to Lauren, the barnyards of Delgathy. Well, I can drink and oh be drunk, I can fight and oh be slain, I can kiss another man's lass and still be welcome to me again. Then to Laddie, to Laddie, then to Laddie, to Renee, then to Lauren, the barnyards of Delgathy. Then to Laddie, to Laddie, then to Laddie, to Renee, then to Lauren, the barnyards of Delgathy. Song from Scotland. The lads did a great version of that. I just love the way it goes. Well, I hail from County Cork, folks, and Tommy Makem took this song from Armagh, the Cork song, and all the way across to the United States and beyond, and sang it in Carnegie Hall probably. And it's about a guy not too far from us here, a guy called the bold Thady Quill. And my brother-in-law, Johnny Sheehan, told me a story about this guy. And in the song he's painted as being a fantastic character, but apparently, the truth be told, he's not quite as good as the song makes out. But who cares? That's what folklore and folk music is all about. And Johnny, my brother-in-law, said there was a sheep involved, Kathleen. Do you remember him telling us about that?
I do.
Yeah, a sheep involved, and it was like a dare, really, to write a song that would praise Thady Quill, and there was a sheep involved in the bargain. So the price of a sheep for the price of a song. Send this one out to Tygo O'Shea and all the O'Shea family up near Vickerstone in County Cork, and Great old song called About Thady Quill. Ye maids of Duhallow who are anxious for courting, a word of advice I will give to you. Proceed to Bantier to the athletic sports field and hand in your names to the club committee. But do not commence any sketch of your programme till the carriage you'll see coming over the hill, down through the valleys and glens of Kilcorny, with her own darling sportsman, the bold Thady Quill. All together, for rambling, for roving, for football and sporting, for drinking black porter as fast as you fill. In all your days roving, you'll find not so jovial as the Muskerry sportsman, the bold Thady Quill. Great hurling match between Cork and Tipperary was played in the park by the banks of the Lee. But our own darling boys were afraid of being beaten. They sent for Bold Thady into Ballinree. Well, he hurled the ball right and left in their faces, showed the Tipperary's wise action and skill. If they came in his way, sure he swore he would brain them, and the papers were full of the praise for Thady Quill. For rambling, for rowing, for football and sporting, for drinking black porter as fast as you fill. In all your days roving, you'll find none so jovial as the Muskerry sportsman, the bold Thady Quill. At the Cork exhibition there was a fair lady whose fortune exceeded $1 million or more, but a bad constitution had ruined her completely, and medical treatment had failed o'er and o'er. You're a mama, says she, sure I know what belays me, and cure this disease that is threatening to kill. Give over your doctors and medical treatment, I'd rather a tear of the bold Thady Quill. For rambling, for roving, for football and sporting, for drinking black porter as fast as you fill. In all your days roving, you'll find none so jovial as the Muskerry sportsman, the bold Thady Quill. For drinking black porter as fast as you fill. In all your days roving, you'll find none so jovial as the Muskerry sportsman, the bold Thady Quill. The Muskerry sportsman, the bold Thady Quill. The bold Thady Quill. Yeah, this poster here, as a matter of fact, is a signed poster, folks, of the Clancy brothers and Robbie O'Connell. I think he was around 95. That same concert in Clonmel was televised, and as you can see, a lot of it on YouTube. And Finbar Clancy, Bobby's son, was playing bass with him on the same night and playing flute as well. And as most of you probably know, Finbar is a member of the High Kings and a good friend of mine for many years through his father Bobby, and their whole family, very close to Bobby's family. Moira, his wife, Finbar, his son, Aoife, Roisin and Aideen, of course, up there on William Street in Carrick-on-Shore. And frequented the house many times, and had great times with Bobby Clancy. And he was a man for all seasons, as they say. Great rocketeer and troubadour, recitations. He could bring a noisy pub to a silent whisper within minutes, and roguish, of course, as was all the Clancy brothers in a really nice way. And we were great friends. So what's next? Farewell to Carlingford for Jimmy Farrell. in the United States. Jimmy is a fellow folk singer, and he's based in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and does a show most weeks, I think every week, Sundays, I think. And so Jimmy Farrell, singer-songwriter, or Jimmy Farrell, should find him. And this song was written by Tommy Makem. The Rambles of Spring, the first song I sang, was written by Tommy Makem. So Tommy is quite evident that Tommy is a songwriter in the group, and brought many songs to our ears, and had a great collection from his mom, Sarah, of course. But even some of the songs he's written, a lot of people think they're traditional, but they fitted so well into the song tradition. Now when I was young and in my prime, you could wander wild and free. There was always a longing in my mind to follow the call of the sea. So I'll sing farewell to Carlingford and farewell to Green Oar, and I'll think of you both day and night until I return once more, until I return once more. On all of the stormy seven seas I have sailed before the mast, but on every voyage that ever I made, I swore it would be my last. So I'll sing farewell to Carlingford and farewell to Green Oar, and I'll think of you both day and night until I return once more, until I return once more. Now I had a girl called Mary Boyle, and she lived in Green Oar. The foremost thought that was in her mind was to see me safe up shore. So I'll sing farewell to Carlingford and farewell to Green Oar, and I'll think of you both day and night until I return once more, until I return once more. Now the landsman's life is all his own. He can go or he can stay. But when the sea gets in your blood, when she calls, you must obey. So I'll sing farewell to Carlingford and farewell to Green Oar, and I'll think of you both day and night until I return once more, until I return once more. Yes, I'll sing farewell to Carlingford and farewell to Green Oar, and I'll think of you both day and night until I return once more, until I return once more. So now to all the Makems up there in Katie and Derry Noose, Jerry Makem and his lovely wife Mary and their two daughters. Great friend of mine for many years, as is his brothers Peter, John, and Eddie, and his sisters Monica and his Mary, is it, as well? Yeah. And many more. So we have spent some time up there in that neck of the woods, and they've got a beautiful gem of a shebeen or a house that they have music in good times, called Tossa's Cottage. It's one of the gems in Ireland that very few people know about, but what a place to go. And hello to everyone up there that know us in that neck of the woods. Tom Makem, of course, Tommy's nephew, another singer, and long neck 5-string player. And so hello Tom to you as well. And okay, what's next on the list? The Garden Song for Joan O'Reilly. Joan is a great friend of ours as well, from originally from Kanturk and now in Shannon via Kildare, and her lovely husband Neil, great personal friends for several years now. And so this one is especially for you, Joan. So get back out in the garden when I'm finished tonight now, and make sure everything is growing like you want it to be. And this one's written by Dave Mallet from the state of Maine. Inch by inch, row by row, going to make this garden grow. Brought over years by Macon McClancy and recorded by people like Pete Seeger and John Denver. And inch by inch, row by row, we're going to make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone blessed these seeds I sowed. Someone warned them from below till the rain comes stumbling down. Pulling weeds and picking stones, man is made of dreams and bones. Feel the need to grow my own, 'cause the time is close at hand. Rain for grain, sun and rain, find my way in nature's shade. Tune my body and my brain to the music of the land. Inch by inch, and inch by inch, row by row, we're gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone blessed these seeds I sowed. Someone warned them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Plant your rows straight and long, temper them with prayer and song. Mother Earth will keep you strong if you give her love and care. An old crow watching hungrily from his perch in yonder tree. In my garden I'm as free as that feathered thief up there. Inch by inch, and inch by inch, row by row, we're gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone blessed these seeds I sowed. Someone warned them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Plant your rows straight and long, temper them with prayer and song. Mother Earth will keep you strong if you give her love and care. Watching hungrily from his perch in yonder tree. In my garden I'm as free as that feathered thief up there. Inch by inch, and inch by inch, row by row, we're gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. And inch by inch, row by row, someone blessed these seeds I sowed. Someone warned them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. A last chance, and inch by inch, row by row, we're going to make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone blessed these seeds I sowed. Someone warned them from below till the rain folks. As to do the next song, I meant to learn this one a bit better, but I might have to glance at the words occasionally. But this is for Therese O'Sullivan, and Therese is kind of a lady you can't refuse. I'll be right there, Kathleen.
Absolutely.
I'm going to get plenty of flack back from her later on, I know that. But when Tommy Macon died in 2007, myself and my friend Dan O'Sullivan jumped on a plane and flew out to Dover, New Hampshire. He was that special to me and to us, and gave us so many songs and gave us so much advice, and we befriended him in the last maybe 15 years of his life or so. And so when he died, I promised myself I was going to try and learn the next song and the choreography of the Cobbler, but I'm just not a multitasker, because I couldn't even get the first line together with doing the Cobbler actions, and the more I look at him doing it, I'm saying to myself, how does he do it? And he sings the song so well, and he's multitasking, he's doing all the movements to perfection, and so sorry if I don't do that. I don't have my shoes anyway, got my coloured socks, and this here is one. Kathleen, can you include it here? Am I?
Yep.
That's one of my most treasured accolades.
Come a bit closer.
That I received back in 2008 at the Tommy Macon Festival, International Festival of Song, as did my singing colleague Dan O'Sullivan. And so this festival and this accolade has been endorsed by people like Pete Seeger, and so it's basically for keeping the song tradition alive. Committee of the Tommy Macon Festival bestowed this on me, and it's one of it's probably my most treasured accolade that I have to my name for singing for the last 40 years, and I treasure it with all my heart. Okay, the Cobbler. I think I said it wrong.
Yep.
Oh, me name is Dick Darby, I'm a cobbler. I served me time at the old camp. Some call me an old agitator, but now I'm reserved to repent. With me inkling of an Ido, with me inkling of an Ide, with me roo-boo-boo randy, and me lapstone keeps baiting away. Now me father was hung for sheep stealing, me mother was burned for a witch, my sister's a dandy housekeeper, and I'm a mechanical switch. With me inkling of an Ido, with me inkling of an Ide, with me roo-boo-boo randy, and me lapstone keeps baiting away. It's 40 long years I have travelled, all by the contents of me pack. Me hammers, me awls, and me pincers, I carry them all on me back. With me inkling of an Ido, with me inkling of an Ide, with me roo-boo-boo randy, and me lapstone keeps baiting away. Oh, me wife, she is humpy, she's lumpy. Me wife, she's the devil, she's cracked. And no matter what I may do with her tongue it goes clickety-clack. With me inkling of an Ido, with me inkling of an Ide, with me roo-boo-boo randy, and me lapstone keeps baiting away. It was early one fine summer's morning, a little before it was day. I dipped her 3 times in the river, and carelessly bade her good day. With me ing-twing of an Ido, with me ing-twing of an Ide, with me roo-boo-boo Randy, and me lapstone keeps spating away. Kathleen, you've got to help me do that choreography, and that verse was not meant for you, the clickety-clack thing, you know, because...
I hope not. Get Teresa to do the actions for you in the shebeen.
Good luck to her, if she can, because I'll tell you, it's hard. Maybe it's more suited to the multitasking females. That was for Therese. Okay, the next song is called The Dutchman, written by an American. And it's, who's this one for? Well, this is for Christy and Mary. Christy Milan and Mary out there and Enter. Beautiful song. Liam Clancy's rendition, and Brendan Grace did a good rendition as well, but my favourite was Liam's by far, and nothing against Brendan's, but he's such a way of telling the story beforehand about the shell-shocked guy from Amsterdam. Send this out to our Dutch friends as well. And the shell-shocked Dutchman and his lifelong partner Margaret still loving him as much as she did when they were young, agile and active, and doing all sorts of wonderful things for him, walking along the cobblestone streets of Amsterdam and holding his hand in case he falls and hurts himself. She sews love on his clothes, and the nicest one of all, she's began to do it for me. She puts whiskey in his tea in the winter time to make his blood nice and thin and warm. Well, Kathleen got a kind of assways around, and she puts a little bit of tea in my whiskey, but who am I to complain? Let us go to the banks of the ocean where the walls rise above the Zuider Zee. Long ago I used to be a young man, and dear Margaret remembers that for me. Dutchman's not the kind of man keep his thumb jammed in the dam that holds his dreams in. That's the secret only Margaret knows. When Amsterdam was golden, in the morning Margaret brings some breakfast she believes in. Thinks the tulips bloom beneath the snow. He's mad as he can be, but Margaret only sees that sometimes she sees her unborn children in his eyes. Let's go to the banks of the ocean. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuider Zee. Long ago I used to be a young man, and dear Margaret remembers that for me. The Dutchman still wears wooden shoes, his cap and coat are patched with love that Margaret sewed in. Sometimes he thinks he's still in Rotterdam. He watches tugboats down canals, calls out to them, and he thinks he knows the captain. Till Margaret comes to take him home again, through unforgiving streets that trip him though she holds his hand. Sometimes he thinks that he's alone and he calls her name. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, used to be a young man, and dear Margaret remembers that for me. The windmill swirls the winter in, she winds his muffler tighter, they sit in the kitchen. The tea with whiskey keeps away the dew. He sees her for a moment, calls her name, she makes his bed up, singing some old love song. He learned it when the tune was very new. She hums a line or two, they hum together in the night. The Dutchman falls asleep and Margaret blows the candle out. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuyder Zee. Long ago I used to be a young man, and this dear Margaret remembers that for me. And again, let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuyder Zee. Long ago I used to be a young man, and dear Margaret remembers that for me. Thank you, folks. There was different factions of the Clancy brothers right up to the end, and as I mentioned earlier, my friend Bobby Clancy here, he apparently was the guy that drove Liam up to meet Tommy Macon for that famous meeting when Diane Hamilton was around in Ireland, and Bobby stayed at home and looked after the insurance business, as well as performing with his sister Peg, who's still alive, and her son Kevin is another great, and her other sons as well are great singers and musicians up there in Carrick-on-Shore. But I came to know Bobby very well for the last maybe 10 years or more of his life, and he helped myself and my friend Dan to get to America for the first time in 2001, and we ended up being there for 9/11. Bobby was very worried about us, and he rang my wife Kathleen here. The kids were young at the time, but we got back safe, thank God. That was the beginning of many trips to America, thanks to Bobby and his daughter Aoife. And but anyway, he gave me lots of ideas about songs and passed songs on to me, and how to perform on sessions and pubs and concerts, of course, as well. And as a matter of fact, he launched myself and Dan O'Sullivan's album in 2001. It's called Take the High Road Together, and it's a sought after album at this stage. It's pretty rare. But anyway, this particular song, I was asking to sing it, and it took me a while to find out that Tommy Macon actually wrote the song. And I listened to Tommy's version as well, but I really like Bobby's version called No More Good Times. Maybe it's the first one I heard, and sometimes you hang on to the first hearing of a particular song. But Bobby was great at recitations and so forth, but he gave me this little 4-liner monologue, which I recite before the song in Bobby's memory. And he used to recite this one, but he gave it to me separately. And he said, one life is all you'll ever have. Slow down before you lose it, for it seems a crime to make good time and then not live to use it. No more good times, from the pen of Tommy Macon. There'll be no more good times now that you're leaving. Nothing but sorrow at my door. All I see is rain from my dusty window pane. I never ocean laughing, heard a mountain sing, saw a ship a-sailing on a voyage to the sun. Well, that was in the good times, and the good times are all gone. There'll be no more good times now that you're leaving, nothing but sorrow at my door. All I see is rain from my dusty window pane. I'll never find the good times anymore, anymore. Never find the good times anymore. Well, I filled my hand with stars and I gave it to the sea. But a peal of thunder made a smile for me. I drifted in the autumn leaves where the rippling rivers run. But that was in the good times, and the good times are all gone. There'll be no more good times now that you're leaving, nothing but sorrow at my door. And all I see is rain from my dusty window pane. I'll never find the good times anymore, anymore. Never find the good times anymore. Well, the rainbow that I walked upon has vanished from the sky. The golden river's muddy, the moonbeams passed me by, and the ship that I saw sailing will never reach the sun. That was in the good times, and the good times are all gone. There'll be no more good times now that you're leaving, nothing but sorrow at my door. And all I see is rain from my dusty window pane. I'll never find the good times anymore, anymore. Never find the good times anymore. One more time. There'll be no more good times now that you're leaving, nothing but sorrow at my door. And all I see is rain from my dusty window pane. I'll never find the good times anymore, anymore. Never find the good times anymore. Never find the good times anymore. No, I'll never find the good times anymore. Thank you, Bobby, for that, bringing that song to my ear, and for Tommy making for writing the song. And I don't claim to sing like the Clancys, and I'd be hard pushed to take the place of four voices anyway, and there were four great voices, very different for brothers. Brothers, as a matter of fact, you could pick each of the brothers' voices out very easily. And I'd like to sing that song and send it out to our friends down in Timoleague. I know they like that song as well, some of the folks in Charlie Madden's pub in Timoleague. Good evening to you all, folks. Hope you're enjoying it. Noel Drake included. We'll say no more, Noel. And Kathleen is laughing. Why are you laughing at, Kathleen?
No one would know.
Okay. See, she doesn't have to show her face, Noel. As I said, we've another half an hour or so left in the show, but as I said, when I got all my Clancy songs that I knew together, not to mind the songs that I know of that I'd like to sing. As you can see, there's plenty albums and paraphernalia. As a matter of fact, we didn't have enough room for a lot of them. There's a few more here I'll just show you, but for all I know, there's a lot of collectors out there of Clancy Brothers and Tommy Makem albums, and here's a few more here. Bring back memories to you. That one is the Bullfenian Men. And what was this? A spontaneous performance recording. At home with the Clancy Brothers and Tommy Makem and their families. And of course the boys won't leave the girls alone, which is the next song I'm going to sing for Dawn over there in UK, near Barnsley, I think, yeah, or her stepdad at least, Adam. And it's the old street ballad, children's street ballad called Tell Me Ma, the boys won't leave the girls alone. And so here's your chance to go jumping around the kitchen again, and especially for Dawn, whose birthday is, what is her birthday? Is tomorrow, I can't remember.
I think it's tomorrow.
19th, yeah. Dawn, this is for you. tell me, Ma, when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. Put me hair in the soul may come, that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she's the belle of Belfast City. She is courting 1, 2, 3, please would you tell me who is she? Says she loves her, all the boys are fighting for. Knocking the door, ringing the bell, singing on me true love very well. Out she comes as white as snow, rings on the fingers, bells on the toes. Oh, Johnny Murray, he says she died, she doesn't get the fellow with the roving eye. Tell me, Ma, when I go home, boys won't leave the girls alone. Put me hair in the sun will come, that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she's the belle of Belfast City. She is courting 1, 2, travelling from the sky. She's as nice as apple pie, she'll get her own that by and by. When she gets a lad of her own, she won't tell her mom when she comes home. Let them all come as they will, it's Albert Mooney she loves still. Tell me, Ma, when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. Put me hair in the sun may come, that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she's the belle of Belfast City. She's a courting 1, 2, 3, says he loves her, all the boys are fighting for. Knocking the door, they're ringing the bell, singing on me true love very well. Out she comes as white as snow, rings on her fingers, bells on her toes. Old Johnny Murray, he says she'll die if she doesn't get the fellow with the roving eye. And tell me, Ma, when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. Put me hair and slow me come, that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she's the belle of Belfast City. She is a courting 1, 2, 3, please would you tell me who is she? Tell me, Ma, when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. Put me hair and slow me come, that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she's the belle of Belfast City. She is courting 1, 2, 3, please would you tell me who is she? Let them all come as they will, it's Albert Mooney she loves still. I'm thinking of doing a second show, folks, in a few weeks' time, not straight away. We'll try and do some of the remaining songs on the list. All the songs tonight were requested, except No More Good Times, which that's my own request, and they're all requested by folks. So that's great to see that. And next one is especially for Garrod and Clare. I think they're in Dublin at the moment. Garrod is from Kerry, to my knowledge, but I think they're in Dublin as we speak. And this one is a song that was written by Phil Coulter, one of Ireland's great composers of our time, and the definitive version was sung by Liam Clancy, none other than Liam, the great voice, rich voice of Liam Clancy. And I remember him singing this song live in the Opera House in Cork, and he had the whole lot of I think it was Cormac Sherry and Castletown Bear and some RNLI teams singing with him from the lifeboats, voluntary lifeboat service in Ireland, and it's a fantastic song. And we think of people like that who give their voluntary time to, you know, leave their families, leave their wives or their husbands, and they go out in the big wild ocean trying to help people to survive. And more often than not, apart from maybe running out of fuel or something, it's nearly always very bad weather when they do go out there. So we remember those folks. Weather is good at the moment, but it's you know, it's a tough job when you're called out to sea. Especially for Garrod and Clare. I hope you like it. On the cold winter's night, the storm at its height, the lifeboat answered the call. They pitched and they tossed till they thought we were lost, as we watched by the harbour wall. Though the night night was pitch black, there was no turning back, for someone was waiting out there. And each volunteer had to live with his fear as they joined in a silent prayer. Carry us home, home, home from the sea. Angels of mercy, answer our plea, and carry us home, home, home from the sea. Carry us safely home from the sea. As they battled their way past the mouth of the bay, it was blowing like never before. As they gallantly fought, every one of them thought of loved ones back on the shore. Then a flicker of lights, and they knew they were right. There she was on the quest of a wave. She's an old fishing boat, she's barely afloat. Please God, there are souls we can save, and carry them home, home, home from the sea. Angels of mercy, answer our plea, and carry them home, home, home from the sea. Carry them safely home from the sea. And back in the town, in a street that runs down to the sea and the harbour wall, they had gathered in pairs at the foot of the stairs to wait for the radio call. And just before dawn, when all hope was gone, came a hush and a faraway sound. 'Twas the coxswain, he roared, all survivors on board, thank God, and we're homeward bound. Carry us home, home, home from the sea. Angels of mercy, answer our plea, and carry us home, home, home from the sea. Carry us safely home from the sea. Home, home, home from the sea. Angels of mercy, answer our plea, and carry us home, home, home from the sea. Carry us safely home from the sea. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you. And I will send that out to Joan Clancy down there in Ring Peninsula, and Leash and Raylene. Joan is a lovely art gallery down there, a beautiful spot, and overlooking Helvig. Kind of, you can see Helvig Head in the distance, and also to all the Clancys down there in the Ring Peninsula, including Donald, of course, Liam's son, who's a fantastic singer and a stupendous guitar player, and carrying on the tradition, and fantastic, and a beautiful part of the world, and I hope his mom came is keeping good as well. And okay, another one for Alan Jones this time. This one is called The Rising of the Moon, and that was the name of one of their albums, if not their first to my knowledge. I'm too young to remember. Okay, Kathleen.
Absolutely.
And come tell me, Sean O'Farrell, tell me why you hurry so. Hush your vocal, hush and listen, and his cheeks were all aglow. I bear orders from the captain, get you ready quick and soon. For the pikes must be together at the rising of the moon. At the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon. For the pikes must be together at the rising of the moon. Out of many the mud-walled cabin eyes were watching through the night. Many a man the heart was beating by the blessed morning light. Murmurs rang along the valley like the banshee's lonely croon. And 1,000 pikes were flashing by the rising of the moon. By the rising of the moon, by the rising of the moon. 1,000 pikes were flashing by the rising of the moon. All along that singing river, that dark mass of men were seen. High above their shining weapons hung their own beloved green. Bet to every foe and traitor whistle out the marching tune. And to Rami boys for freedom, 'tis the rising of the moon. 'Tis the rising of the moon, 'tis the rising of the moon. And to Rami boys for freedom, 'tis the rising of the moon. Well, we fought for dear old Ireland, and full bitter was our fate. Oh, what glorious pride and sorrow fills the name of 98. Yet thank God what hearts are beating now in manhood's lonely noon. We follow in their footsteps at the rising of the moon. At the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon. We'll follow in their footsteps at the rising of the moon. At the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon. We'll follow in their footsteps at the rising of the moon. 1798 Rebellion, The Rising of the Moon, and great song for sure. Next song was a song that was the Tommy Macon got from his mother, Sarah Macon. Beautiful song. It's called Red as a Rose, beautiful love song, and it's about down this neck of the woods where Killarney is mentioned in it, and not sure where Sarah got the song from, but thankfully it's been kept alive thanks to Tommy and to Liam. Liam did the version with Bacon McClancy, and his rich voice certainly suited the song. And Red as a Rose that in yonder garden grows, and a beautiful singing song, of course. And a similar melody to Loch Lomond, but I prefer this song because it's Irish, I suppose, and I'm Irish. Loch Lomond is another great song for sure. And I'd like to send this one out to Angela Russell again, and also to, I know Kristen
Andrews.
Huh?
Kristen Andrews.
Andrews, no, yeah, it was. We knew her first as Kristen Carter. Her daughter from Utah in the United States sang this song with me back in Foley's about 4 years ago. And she's from. Was it? So he's already after maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I forget her name. Do you remember her name? We'll get it.
Come to me.
Kristen, if you're looking in, you can send it on.
And Mary's listening.
And Mary, who's her grandmother of the little girl I'm talking about, and Kristen's mother, Mary, friends for many years. But when you hear someone singing a song from Sarah Macon's repertoire, and the young lady what age would she be now, 12 or 13? From Utah in the United States, that says a lot about the song, and she sang a beautiful version of it. there was almost an Irish lilt in her voice, and she really took the song and gave it a beautiful treatment. And I'm looking forward to hearing her singing it again, because she's probably going to get better and better as she gets older. Anyway, let's all sing it together. Come over the hills, my bonny Irish lass. Come over the hills to your darling. You choose a role, love, and I make the vow that I'll be your true love forever. All together. Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne. But my love is fairer than any. It's down by Killarney's green woods that we strayed. The moon and stars, they were shining. The moon shone its rays on her locks of golden hair. She swore she'd be my love forever. Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne. But my love is fairer than any. Was not for the parting with my sister Kate, was not for the grief of my mother, was all for the loss of my bonny Irish lass, that my heart is breaking forever. All together. Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne. But my love is fairer than any. One more time. Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne. But my love is fairer than any. But my love is fairer than any. Hope you're all singing along there, folks. What a beautiful song. Great song to sing and a great song to listen to, for sure. Okay, next song is written by one of my favourite Canadian singer-songwriters who's no longer with us, Stan Rogers. He left us a fantastic repertoire of songs, and I first heard of Stan through Macon and Clancy. They brought a beautiful song, the Mary Ellen Carter, and I know Liam did a solo version of it later on as well. And but I got listening to Stan himself, and I just love his version as well. And that's what makes folk music go around, of course, the different versions of different songs. I don't try to mimic any of the songs, but I get a lot of ideas from people like the Clancy Brothers and Tommy Macon and Stan Rogers and all those great folk singers, Tom Paxton, Pete Seeger, Eric Bogle, the Dubliners, including the great Luke Kelly, of course. You know, all these people feed into my inspirations, and I end up with my own versions of songs. And this one's called Mary Ellen Carter. It's a very strong song, and the sentiments in the song, or the advice in the song, is summed up in the last line. It says, no matter what you've lost, be to love a home or a friend, like the Mary Ellen Carter, rise again, don't give up, fight to the bitter end, to do all the right things, as they say, and that's what we've got to do in this pandemic. And Neil O'Reilly, my good friend, asked for this, and sent it out to Mary Carter, Mary Ellen Carter, to Mary Carter out there in Utah. Great to see you on board, Mary, and love from Dripsy here. I know you know this place. You know your way around this house as well as I do, and always welcome. And also send it out to Geraldine Fitzpatrick down there in West Cork, and I know she loves this song as well, and the sentiments, and wish her and Maeve, her daughter, and her husband Francis the very best. She went down last October in a pouring driving rain. The skipper he'd been drinking, and the mate he felt no pain. Close to 3 Mile Rock when she was dealt her mortal blow. Mary Ellen Carter settled low. There was just us 5 aboard her when she finally was awash. We worked like hell to save her, all heedless of the cost. And the groan she gave as she went down caused us to proclaim we'd make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Well, the owners wrote her off, not a nickel would they spend. She gave us 20 years of service, boys, better sorry again. Insurance paid the loss to us, so let her rest the blow. They laughed at us and said we had to go. We talked to her all winter, some days around the clock. She's worth $250,000 floating at the dock. With every jar that hit the bar, we swore we would remain and make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Rise again, rise again. Let her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. All those who loved her best, and her with her till the end, will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. All spring now we've been with her on a barge lent by a friend. 3 dives a day and hard that suits, twice I've had a bend. Thank God it's only 60 feet and the currents here are slow, or I'd never have the strength to go below. We've hatched her vents and stopped the vents, stopped hatch and portal down, put cables to her fore and aft, geared her around. Tomorrow noon we hit the air and then take up the strain and make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Rise again, rise again. Let her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. All those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. We couldn't leave her there, you see, She'd saved her life so many times, living through the gales. The laughing drunken rats who left her to a sorry grave. They won't be laughing in another day. And you too, adversity has dealt the final blow, with smiling bastards lying to you everywhere you go. Turn to and pull out all your strength of arm and heart and brain, and like the Mary Ellen Carter, rise again, rise again, rise again. Though your heart it be broken and life about to end, no matter what you lost, we get home, a love, a friend, like the Mary Ellen Carter, rise again, rise again, rise again. Though your heart it be broken and life about to end, no matter what you lost, we get a home, a love, a friend, like the Mary Ellen Carter, rise again. That was a great and strong song for sure, and hope you enjoyed this evening, folks. I'll leave you a couple more songs, and anything you left to say, Kathleen? Any mentions that we need to?
There's two, so I'd be afraid I'd forget one.
I'll leave
Genuinely,
someone
I'd be
out.
afraid to, yeah.
And we're going to be watching the Kruger brothers, our friends, and from now North Carolina via Switzerland and Germany. It's midnight tonight in Irish time, and we look forward to it every Friday and Saturday night. And you know, this live streaming thing, I think it's helping people's well-being, hopefully, and it's great to have an opportunity to perform to an audience, even though I can't see you folks. But that's the next best thing, getting used to looking at the back of my phone. And but keeps us all, I suppose, in some kind of a sane place, and hoping that you're all doing well in this pandemic thing. It doesn't seem to be going away in a hurry, but we'll be hopeful, we'll be optimistic, we'll keep the glass half full, not half empty, for sure. And also, just to mention, our friends over in Massachusetts, and Eddie Dillon played with the last, I suppose, Clancy Brothers ensemble, which was Bobby Clancy, my good friend Bobby, his son Finbar, as I said, now the High Kings, and Eddie Dillon, great guitarist, songwriter and singer from Fairhaven, down near New Bedford in Massachusetts, and great friend for many years. And he was a founding member of a group called the Shenanigans down there in South Massachusetts. And through Bobby Clancy we got to know Eddie and Tom Kennedy and Patty, his wife, and all their lovely family. And through Tom then, of course, we got to know his brother Dick Lewis and their family, and Jose Jack, Kerry, and all their families as well. So we send them our best wishes from Cork, Ireland to Massachusetts, and all our friends down in North Carolina, everywhere in between, including Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia. I'm leaving somewhere, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, and our friends in Canada, of course, as well. East and West, and Middle.
Bridie and Sean McDade are listening in.
Bridie and Sean McDade, I think originally from Northern Ireland, are they? Met them over in Calgary, and lovely couple. And thanks for looking in again, Bridie and Sean. Anyway, as we're from Cork, we claim this song is a Cork song, and the Clancy brothers tell the funny story that they sang this out in San Francisco for a group of monks, and the monks thought it was a holy song because it's called a holy ground. And but little did they know it's all about the red light district of Queenstown Harbour, which is now of course known as Cove. So all our friends down in Cove as well, we wish you the best. And now you have to shout back, fine girl you are. I'm going to have to try and do it on my own here. And when the time comes up. Fare thee well, my lovely Dinah, 1,000 times adieu. We're going away from the holy ground, and the girls be all love true. sail the salt sea over, and we'll return for shore to see again the girls we love and the holy ground once more. Fine girl, you are, you're the girl I do adore. Still I live in hopes to see the holy ground once more. Fine girl, you are, and now the storm is raging, and we are safe, we're far from shore, and the good old ship is tossing about, and the rigging is all torn, and the secret of my mind is my love. You're the girl I do adore. Still I live in hopes to see a holy ground once more. Fine girl, you are, you're the girl I do adore. And still I live in hopes to see a holy ground once more. Fine girl, you are, and now the storm is over, and we are safe and well. We will go into a public house, and we sit and drink our fill. We will drink strong ale and porter, and we make the rafters roar. When our money is all spent, we will go to sea once more. Fine girl, you are the girl I do adore. Still I live in hopes to see a holy ground once more. Fine girl, you are the girl I do adore. Still I live in hopes to see a holy ground once more. Fine girl, you are. I wish I had more voices and a bass guitar, and I could play the banjo with the guitarist, but I'm on my own, so I got to do the best I can to sing a big group, a big voice group songs, and not doing too bad. I've an hour and a half continuous vocals done. I'm still holding out, so it's good for my voice to keep it exercised. And until next week, folks, we'll have a general show next week again. Not saying nothing special, but we won't be doing a special tribute to anyone. We'll just keep kind of balancing it and changing it, try and keep people's interest going, and vary the thing so much as possible. And before I leave you folks, again, thanks to Kathleen here for looking after the production, behind the camera, behind the phone, behind the scenes, and just in case anything goes wrong, and it sets up the room every Saturday night. It's a bit of a ritual now at this stage. It's harder than doing a gig now at this stage, but we love doing it for you folks, and we'll continue to until he tells us not to, so hopefully that won't happen. And until next week, folks, keep well, look after yourselves. And the last song I dedicate to Warren R. Carney Jr. He asked for the parting song or the journey's end, and I'm going to do a parting glass. So, is that okay, Kathleen?
Absolutely.
Just take care of yourselves, folks. Have a good week. Oh, all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me a parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Oh, all the comrades that e'er I had, they were sorry for my going away, and all the sweethearts that e'er I had, they would wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise and you should know, so I'll gently rise, and I softly call, good night, and joy be with you all. Good evening, folks. Thank you so much.